Alright, this might just be one of the most interesting budget phones of the year, because on paper, the iQOO Z11x looks like it's breaking a few rules. We're talking about a massive 7,200 mAh battery, a surprisingly capable Dimensity chip, and even IP69 water resistance, which is something you almost never see at this price point. But here's the real question. Is this actually a well-balanced phone, or is it just a spec monster that falls apart in real-life use? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly if this is worth your money. And hey, if you enjoy honest tech reviews like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a like. It really helps the channel grow and keeps videos like this coming. So let's start with the design, because honestly, this phone feels bigger than what the numbers suggest. It's 219 grams, which is definitely on the heavier side, but that's expected when you're packing a 7,200 mAh battery inside. The thickness is 8.4 millimeters, which is actually impressive considering the battery size. In hand, it feels solid, not premium like glass and metal, but definitely sturdy. You get a glass front, plastic frame, and plastic back, which is typical for this segment. What really stands out, though, is the IP68 and IP69 rating. That means this thing can survive dust, water, even high-pressure water jets. That's kind of insane for a phone in this category and instantly makes it more durable than a lot of competitors. Flip it to the front, and you're getting a 6.76-inch IPS LCD panel with a 120 Hz refresh rate. Now yes, it's not AMOLED, and that's something you'll notice especially in contrast and deep blacks. But at the same time, it gets bright up to 1,200 nits in high brightness mode. And for everyday use, scrolling, watching videos, gaming, it actually feels smooth and responsive. The resolution is 1080 by 2344, so everything looks sharp enough, and the bezels are fairly minimal for this price. It's one of those displays where you won't be blown away, but you also won't complain much unless you're specifically looking for AMOLED. Now performance is where things get interesting. The global version comes with the Dimensity 7400 Turbo, while the China version has the standard Dimensity 7400. Both are built on a 4nm process, which is pretty efficient. In real-world usage, this means smooth multitasking, decent gaming performance, and overall a snappy experience. You're getting up to 8 GB of RAM on the global model, and even 12 GB on the China variant, paired with UFS 3.1 storage, which is fast. Apps open quickly, switching between apps feels fluid, and even heavier games are playable on medium to high settings. This isn't a flagship-level chip, but for the price, it definitely punches above its weight. Software-wise, it's running Android 16 with Origin OS 6. Now, depending on your region, the experience might vary a bit, especially with pre-installed apps. But overall, Origin OS is smooth, visually clean, and packed with features. Animations are fluid, customization is solid, and it doesn't feel overly bloated once you remove a few extras. It's one of those skins that actually grows on you the more you use it. Now let's talk cameras, because this is where expectations need to be realistic. On the back, you get a 50-megapixel main sensor with an auxiliary lens. In good lighting, photos come out decent. Colors are vibrant, dynamic range is acceptable, and detail is good enough for social media. But in low light, things start to fall apart a bit. Noise increases, details soften, and you can tell this is not a camera-focused phone. Video goes up to 4K at 30 frames per second, which is nice to have, and stabilization is handled by Euro EIS, so it's usable but not amazing. On the front, the global version actually gives you a 32-megapixel selfie camera, which is surprisingly good. Selfies are sharp, skin tones look natural, and it's definitely better than what you'd expect at this price. Meanwhile, the China version drops this down to 8 megapixels, which is a pretty big difference, so that's something to keep in mind depending on which version you're considering. Now, before we get to the biggest highlight, if you're still watching, you're clearly interested in phones like this, so go ahead and hit like right now, and subscribe so you don't miss upcoming comparisons and tests. And now, the battery. This is the main reason why this phone exists. 7,200 mAh. That is huge. In real-world usage, this easily gets you through 2 full days on moderate use, and even heavy users can comfortably get a full day and more. This is the kind of battery life that changes how you use your phone. You stop worrying about charging, you stop carrying power banks, and it just becomes reliable. Charging is 44W, which isn't the fastest, but considering the battery size, it's reasonable. You get about 50% in around 43 minutes, and full charge takes longer, but again, you're charging less often anyway. Plus, you also get reverse-wired charging and bypass charging, which is great for gaming sessions. Other features are pretty solid too. You've got stereo speakers, which sound decent, not the loudest, but definitely usable. There's no headphone jack, which might disappoint some people. Bluetooth 5.4 is here, connectivity is strong, and the side-mounted fingerprint scanner is fast and reliable. The China version even adds NFC and an infrared port, which is a nice bonus. So overall, the iQOO Z11x is not trying to be everything. It's not the best camera phone, it's not the most premium-looking device, and it doesn't have an AMOLED display. But what it does offer is insane battery life, solid performance, strong durability, and a smooth everyday experience at a very competitive price. And honestly, for a lot of people, that's exactly what matters. If you're someone who values battery life above everything else, this is easily one of the best options right now. If you want a balanced phone with no major weaknesses, it still holds up pretty well. But if your priority is camera or display quality, you might want to look elsewhere. That's it for this one. If you found this review helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit like, and I'll catch you in the next one.